Yo, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Listen, I want to welcome y'all to another episode of Friday Night Live with me, Pastor Frank. I know you could have been anywhere in the world, but I'm always grateful that you're here with me. Listen, is anybody glad? Is anybody grateful that God saw us through to the end of yet another week? I don't know about you all, but as always, I never take for granted when God sees us through to the end of another week. I never take for granted the fact that He woke us up even on this morning, right? He gave us health, He gave us strength, even if it may not be the best. But I'm always grateful that He allowed us to wake up and see the blessing of a new day, right? A day that a lot of people thought they would see, but for whatever reason, they're not here, but we still are. And so I always want to pause and tell God thank you. And I know you want to do the same. Um, listen, do me a favor as y'all logging in. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can make sure that you stay connected. That whenever I post any videos or any other type of content, that you can stay connected and get updated with the latest videos or whatever's going on. And also, do me a favor, share this video with somebody else, right? Don't be selfish. Share the love, as I've been saying on some of my social media posts all month. This is February. This is Love Month. Share the love. The things that we've been talking about and discussing as we're building a better future, as we are preparing ourselves to dream unfiltered so that we can experience better days more consistently. There's somebody else that needs to hear this also. So do me a favor, go ahead and share this with at least one more person that you know or that you think needs to hear this. But I'm not gonna belabor the moment. We're gonna jump right in. I know many of us may have a busy weekend. I know I do. I'm gonna jump right in as promised on tonight's episode of Friday Night Live. We will be talking about, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Embrace the journey, right? For many of us, um, we've already talked about the ups and the downs, the trials and tribulations, or even the unhealthy foundation that many of us may have had, uh, starting as early as a young age, right? But we've been doing the work all season, you all, as we've been preparing, as I just mentioned, we've all been preparing all season so that we can dream unfiltered. Remember, that's our theme for this season, which the goal is for us to dream unfiltered so that we can begin to experience better days more consistently. And so tonight's episode, I really wanted to just make sure that even as we're in this rebuilding phase, right? As we're digging, we done dug up the ground and trying to make sure that our foundation is healthy. I also want to be honest and transparent in making sure that we all know the importance of, or why it's important that we embrace everything that comes along with this journey that we're on, right? And what I mean by that is, believe it or not, everything that we experience on our life's journey, hear me well. Everything that we experience, that means the good, the bad, the ugly, the in between, all of that, all of those things contribute to our personal growth and development, which means we all have to embrace all of our experiences. That means we need to, as I stated, embrace the good times, which is easy. But that means we also need to embrace the bad times so that we can learn from them. Now I hear somebody saying, I ain't trying to embrace no bad times. Here's what I mean when I say embrace the bad times as well. That doesn't mean that you have to like it, right? When you go to the doctor and the doctor gives you a prescription, or even if you remember when we were kids, right? And if we had a cold or the flu or something like that, there was certain medication that we would take that it was disgusting, it was nasty, but it was necessary, right? And it's the same thing with us as we're on this journey. As we're on this journey to dreaming unfiltered so that we can experience better days. We have to learn how to embrace. That simply means learning to accept what happened to us. You ain't got to like it, but we got to be able to accept it. Meaning, I know what happened. I processed my feelings about it, and I know I don't like it. I know it don't feel good. I even know how it made me feel, and I don't like how it made me feel. So go through the process. Allow ourselves to go through that process of simply accepting what happened. Watch this so that we can then learn from it. Because again, the good and the bad all contribute to our personal growth and development. But somebody asked me why, because I know somebody's like, well, why we got to do all of that? Why I got to take all that? Well, here's why, because that's a good question. It's important, you all, that we're able to embrace both the good and the bad things that we've experienced in life. Watch this, because God actually uses both the good and the bad experiences to help shape our path. And watch this. That's important because our path is what directs us to our God given purpose, right? Like you do know that each and every one of us was created with a purpose. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. If you've never heard it before, even if I'm not saying that you know what your purpose is, but hear me. Each and every one of us was born. We were created with a purpose. And God uses the trials and tribulations of our lives. Watch this, to transform us into the type of person He created us to be. I would imagine that that's why the Bible gave us scriptures like Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, which reminds us that I'm gonna go back and read it, but that particular scripture, it reminds us that God has a plan for us. And it tells us that God's plan, watch this, God's plan is to prosper us and not to harm us. Notice I didn't say hurt. His plan is to prosper us. It didn't say that it won't hurt. Because there's some things that very well may hurt, but that hurt is not meant to harm us. As a matter of fact, that scripture goes on to say his plan is designed to give us hope, to give us a future. Some would probably even say to give us hope for our future. So that means even when we're struggling, even when we got issues, even when those bad things happen to us, it's our responsibility to recognize that God still has a plan. Just as he has a plan for the good, he has a plan for the bad. For somebody, I don't like for anybody to take my word for it. I'm gonna read the NIV version, but Jeremiah 29, chapter 11, literally says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." This is why it's important that we embrace every aspect of our journey, you all. Because here's the thing, I got to be honest. If we're not careful, and some of us have already fallen in this little trap, if we're not careful, we can easily miss the valuable lessons that God designed for us to learn. Why? Because we're human and sometimes we get emotional. And when we go through trials and tribulations, and when we make plans and really work hard to try to accomplish something, when we work really hard to try to achieve something, when we work really hard to try to do something, and things don't turn out the way that we thought they would, when things don't happen the way that we thought they would, we thought they would, a lot of times, you all, let's be honest, a lot of us, we become angry. And we get angry with God. I don't know about you. Have you ever been angry with God? Yeah, that's a natural human emotion. Some of us, we get caught or are stuck in being angry. Some of us, we just simply become frustrated. Why? Because it seems like every time I keep trying to work towards something, I keep getting pushed back. I keep having to fight my way through, and I'm tired of fighting. I'm just frustrated. To the point that some of us, we just get to a point that we're just so disappointed. We're just tired of being disappointed. And we get stuck and watch it, and we miss the valuable lessons that God attaches to every trial and tribulation. Watch this. Notice I'm focusing on that because it's easy to notice the good things, right? It's easy to notice the lesson when something good happens. But what happens when those trials and tribulations happen, right? What happens when our plans don't turn out the way we thought they would, right? Those are the times that we have to be intentional and make sure that we really focus in on what is it God is trying to say, instead of being angry with him because he didn't do what we thought he was going to do. That's a sermon coming later. We're going to talk about that another time. But many of us, we become frustrated because we feel like I'm just a dog chasing my tail. No, it's called a process. God uses our life's experiences, watch this again, to transform us into who he created us to be. But again, many of us, we get so disappointed and caught up in our feelings that we just miss the whole point. And then we get, watch this, and then the cycle continues because then we get mad because now we got to deal with the same thing again. Hello. Maybe if you take the time to stop, slow down, and pay attention to what God could be showing you or revealing or trying to say, maybe you won't have to go that route again. Because here's the thing, and y'all know me, I'm going to always keep it 100. The truth is, embracing our journey means that we have to accept, watch this, that God, not us, that God has a plan. And whatever we experience, good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is, it's all a part of a bigger picture. It's all a part of God's bigger plan. So here's the thing, because I'm not going to keep us long. As we continue on this journey of rebuilding, as we continue on this journey of dreaming unfiltered, as we continue on this journey to better days more consistently, I want to remind us that when times of adversity come, or even when those moments of uncertainty arise. Pause, take a moment, acknowledge how you feel because we're all human. But then remind yourself that God is simply using that very moment in time as an opportunity to help us grow, as an opportunity to help us develop into who He wants us to be. As a matter of fact, that very moment is the time to discover how resilient you are. That very moment is the time to realize how strong you are. Or maybe even that time might be, God might be using to try to stretch you, to watch this increase your capacity for whatever type of blessings He may have in store for you. Kind of like a trainer would do, right? Any of us who've ever had a trainer or went to physical therapy or someone, right, to help us get our goals and get our life together, right? You go to the gym and the trainer says, well, what is you trying to work on? Or and you tell the trainer, well, I'm trying to lose some weight and I'm trying to tone up. I'm trying to get my summer body right, whatever. And I want to get a little stronger. What does the trainer do? The first thing that he does, he does one of two things. Let me say it this way. He either gives you, watch this, heavier weight for you to consistently lift, or he may give you a lighter weight, but it may have you continue to practice lifting that lighter weight more times. Mm. Or be transparent. Or let's say you in my case, I went to physical therapy the other week. And I told them they were like, "What are you trying to do? What do you want to do? What are you trying to work on?" And I said, "Well, that especially that particular moment, I'm like, I'm at that age where I'm starting to have them lower back pains, and sometimes when I get up, it might be my left hip or it might be my right hip. I feel like I'm doing a hokey pokey. I put my right foot in, I take my right foot out. I mean, you never know what might be going on any given moment." I said, "But I wanna kind of increase my flexibility, because it feels like sometimes, and when I was talking to them, I said, like this morning when I got up, my right hip is a little tight. My back is not hurting, but my right hip feels a little tight or whatever the case is." And they said, "Okay, well, we got you. We Now that we know what you want to work on and what you want to do, we got you." So they put me on the table, and then here's what the guy ended up doing. He put me on the table, and then he started applying pressure. Right? He started moving my legs and stretching and doing certain things. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I feel that. It was uncomfortable, and some of it was a little painful. And he started to explain to me, it's okay. He said, what we do is we try to activate certain muscles that may have become weak. And so as I begin to apply pressure, I'm gonna have you push back, right? He said, and in my mind, I'm like, well, that don't make sense to me because I'm already a little tight. So why you adding more pressure, right? I'm thinking you're gonna do something else, massage me or something else, but instead you added more pressure. And then he began to pull and tug and do all kinds of stuff that made me watch this uncomfortable. But when it was all over, when I got up, my lower back wasn't hurting, my hip wasn't tight. I was moving, I was almost doing a little shimmy almost. But watch this. I had to go through that process of him pushing and pulling and tugging and adding more pressure and doing things of that nature. And then he said, but you need to come back because you need to do this type of routine more consistently for it to really take effect. I know you feel good right now, but you have to be consistent with this type of routine. You need to be consistent with these type of stretches. Woo! And the same thing applies for us in our everyday lives. The more we begin to embrace all aspects of our journey, even now. Yes, we dealt with what's to come, but I'm saying even now as we're moving forward, no matter what comes up, the more we begin to embrace all aspects of our journey. The more we begin to lean into those uncomfortable or painful moments, the more we'll begin to experience an authentic life filled with purpose and gratitude. So this weekend, you all, I encourage you to take some time and first just simply honestly reflect on your journey up to this particular point. Then begin to jot down some of the things you've learned so far. The Bible says that you need to write the vision down and make it plain. Write down some of the things you learned. Why? One, because I want you to remember some stuff that you thought that you may not have ever achieved or accomplished, or that you may not have ever learned. But then also, I want you to take note of some of the things that you still may need to learn. Then pray and ask God to teach you the things you don't know. Because in this particular day and time, you all, it's time for us to embrace our journey. I don't know about you. I'm looking forward to better and brighter days more consistently. I'm looking forward to dreaming unfiltered. But I know the only way that's going to happen is if I embrace all of the journey. Not just the good parts, not just the parts I like, but all of it. Well, listen, that's all I got for y'all on tonight. I hope this little nugget bless somebody. And as always, I appreciate you all for tuning in. And I hope to see you all next Friday Night Live. As we'll be talking about, we're gonna continue this conversation as we'll be talking about unfavorable seasons. Yeah. Because even as we're in this rebuilding phase, there's gonna be, just know, I told you, I'm gonna be honest. It ain't gonna always be easy. It ain't gonna always be roses. We're going to all face some unfavorable seasons. But the question is, are you ready for it? I don't know. We're going to talk about it. But until next week, I need y'all to remember, dreams plant the seeds for the future. And your future is definitely bright. I got to get up out of here. I love y'all. Nothing you can do about it. Peace out.